Supposed to be an event that even the ex-royals were going to attend. We're talking about the Oscars 2022, but they became bigger news all thanks to this breakout story. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. Nice to have your company today. Welcome one and all. Now, if you're looking at this beautiful building behind me, let me tell you, we are in Chelsea today. This is the Telephone Exchange, or was the Telephone Exchange. This was the place where whoever you were, the rich, the famous, and the very posh, particularly around this area. If you don't know what posh means, by the way, it's very expensive people, lots of money. You get the picture. Don't know why I'm here today, got a bus. Anyway, back to the story. Now, this really would have been the place where your phone calls would have been exchanged. You know, you would have connected and then they would have put you through. This could have been anybody from diplomats, royals, famous movie stars, you name it, they would have come through this telephone exchange. Sadly, of course, like all good things, thanks to the world of digital media and digital world connection, it all closed down and now it's a private residence, 4 flats. If those walls could talk, hey, you just kind of wonder what phone calls came through here. And I know a lot of people say, oh no, those girls never listened in. How tempting would it have been though, seriously. One bit of gossip though that broke out this week and of course became worldwide news was that of the Hollywood actor Will Smith receiving his first Oscar nomination. Now, I've interviewed Will on numerous occasions and I've always found it to be incredibly pleasant, very down to earth, but in the last few years he seems to have gone off the rails a bit, particularly with his autobiography, outspoken political views, and of course a rather controversial marriage. But obviously, you know, this was a moment of good news for him. But how real was that news? Now, a lot of people are speculating the fact that it was set up, and I'll come to that in a moment. But what's interesting is my sources out in Hollywood are all rather, well, shall we say, reticent to say it was real. And if you look at the evidence, let me explain the reasons why. When you think about it, you know, the little tap that he actually gave the host Chris Rock wasn't really that much. Interesting to note that these two have been friends for many, many years, and hard to imagine that they wouldn't know what's going on in each other's lives, if you get the picture. Then, of course, you turn to Oscar, and as I say, this is Will's first time as an Oscar nominee, an Oscar winner, should I say. And the Oscars themselves have been plummeting in ratings for many years. So, you know, knowing Will and knowing how he operates, it wouldn't surprise me that he thought this was potentially a good idea, and as ever, we have to say allegedly, to gain some worldwide headlines. After all, his career has been something in the doldrums for the last few years. And when you get your first nomination, it's wonderful, isn't it? Let's be honest. Now, what about this business of him resigning and removing himself from the Academy, that sort of stuff? Let me tell you how that will go. He'll have some rehabilitation, say sorry quite a few times, possibly do a few late night chat interviews, and they will welcome him back with open arms because nothing more says Hollywood than somebody being rehabilitated. Just look at Mel Gibson, if you get the picture. Now, what's interesting to note is, of course, the story's rumbling on. There's apparently even going to be, I know, can you imagine, a documentary leading up to this? How desperate are we for entertainment? Yes. But this really would make a very interesting story. But a lot of people are saying, is it real or is it fake? If you want my take on the story, I believe it's 100% fake. Simply because there were no actions taken against the host. Even though the police were called, he didn't want to call charges. And then Will Smith seemingly was happy to go off and party. I think he possibly thought he may have gone a little bit too far with his pretend slap. Now, if you're really looking for a slap, watch an old Joan Crawford movie and see how she attacks her co-stars. That truly is a slap. This was more a tap on the hand, but nonetheless, for Will Smith, Chris Rock and the Oscars, it garnered them international press coverage, the only kind that they simply could not pay for. And when you think 5-6 days on, we're still talking about this. Fake? You bet. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.